Hey guys, Ryan, Tokyo Fun Hunter coming at you from Tokyo, Japan. I know I begin everything like that. Anyway, thanks again for watching this. Please watch it full way through. Gonna have some more updated advice. So, today we're gonna talk about ways to make money in Japan and finding jobs in Japan. A little bit about my history. If you do not know, I have been working in Japan since since God, I don't know, since I was 20 years old, which is on and off for about 8 years now. Worked a variety of different jobs. I've worked in, as a camp counselor, as an English teacher, both for different age groups, from toddlers to senior citizens. I've worked as an ALT. I've worked as bartender, as an actor, as a model. In Japanese companies as a salaryman. I've worked in restaurants and bars. I've worked as a cashier. I've worked in department stores. I've had my own businesses. I've had several of my own businesses, making money on the side. I've done sales. I've done HR. I've done recruiting for several companies. So different jobs, all great backgrounds. And I wanted to tell you guys a few different ways on kind of how to make money as well as how to find jobs in Japan. And I hope this adds some value. And I made a similar video about 2 years ago. And just a quick story is I made this video about 2 years ago, and it was very interesting because I made the video just as a personal project. I thought it would be fun, and I started working at a recruitment company about a year ago, and a guy had just walked into our office, and we were like going around and like, oh, you must be the new guy. Nice to meet you. I'm Ryan. And he was like, well, Ryan, the Tokyo Fun Hunter? Like my YouTube? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, I watched that before I arrived, and I was he's a good friend of mine now, and I thought that was a really amazing story, and it kind of got me motivated to reignite this kind of project. I did it for maybe about a month, made a few videos, put them online, and apparently they've done better than I thought. So, I've since then wanted to, things have changed a lot. So many cool things have happened, all great things. And I've done more business experience, have more experience. This was 2 years ago, had a great experiences. Now it's worth watching it, definitely watch it, and more on that. So I've done a lot of cool things. Majority of my work has been in the outdoor industry in Japan. I work as a river rafting instructor. I've also done several of my own businesses here. And recently I worked professionally as a executive consultant, advisor, and recruiter for several companies coming into Japan, and help them staff their companies and helping them get started. So that's a little bit about me. Let's start. Let's begin. Let's talk about it. So the typical ways, let's get it out of the way. The typical ways that people have traditionally found visas and made money in Japan is, number one, English teaching, obviously. And there's so many different ways to make money doing English. You can do one-on-one lessons. You can do group lessons. You can easily find jobs online. Now, I'll give you a little tidbit. I originally did interviews in California to come to Japan. It didn't work out. You know what? I kind of said, F it. I'm going to go to Japan on my own. And I did. Was able to get a visa here. So I think your odds of finding a job while you're still, if you're going through Craigslist or something, if you're going through in your home country, you can definitely find a visa and a job through that, but the odds are different because those people are getting resumes daily, hundreds of them. To make a real big impression and to even the playing field and get your odds up on getting a visa and a good job, I should say, I would come to Japan first, come in on a working visa, and then start meeting all the different English schools. There's so many English schools. There's new English schools popping up all the time. And there's different ways you can do it. You can do, private lessons through a cafe. Go to a cafe and one-on-one lessons that way. You can go to a school and do group lessons that way. I've done group lessons for kind of elderly. I've also done group lessons for kids. And right off the bat, it's a lot of fun. It's if you're energetic like me, if you're outgoing like me, I have like a theater background, and I'm an outdoor fitness guide, so I already. When I go in the room, I love to sing with the kids. I love to have fun with that. Honestly, it's good to do for a few years, but it is not great money, and Tokyo is an expensive place. The money with English teaching, if you really want to do it, you can either do high quality one-on-one lessons for certain executives. That's really where the good money is. But also, I would recommend group lessons. Okay, if you're charging a one-on-one lesson, that's also your time. If you do one with a kid, you say you charge an average of 2,000, 3,000 yen per hour, which is about $20, $30 per hour. It's a lot of money, but if you had 5 of those people and all charging them 1,500, it's a lot more, obviously. So I would say group lessons, if you're going to do English teaching, group lessons are a big way to go. It saves you time, maximize your money. You just charge at a little bit of a group discount. Is what I would recommend. There are several websites also out there where you can put a profile and they contact you on your own. I'd say do this for the first year getting started. When you're first getting started, you want to do it for the first year to know the network, know how the English teaching works, to know also the material you're teaching. After about a year, I would start do it on your own, and you can maximize your profits that way, okay? So the first most popular job out there for foreigners and Westerners, English teaching by far. It can be very rewarding. It's not for everybody. I did it for many years, and I found it very rewarding. But obviously, there was a time where, like, hey, I wanted to get to the next chapter of my life. Another second one, which I'm currently doing, is recruiting. Recruiting in Japan is the second most common job for foreigners, and I kind of do this. I still do my river rafting things, but I do recruiting now for professional companies. And I did another video. I did a video earlier about kind of recruiting, and my thoughts on recruiting is there's different types of companies. There's some companies that you can be a part of that are going to be ones that are going to teach you step by step. It's going to be like a company. And other ones where there's going to be no teaching. You just kind of go in there and make your own business, but also you get higher profits. It's definitely worth it in terms of, like, you learn so many skills doing that. You learn a lot about Japanese interviews. You learn a lot about how people find jobs. You learn how people find how many resumes, and also get in the minds of companies when they're seeing these resumes. I can't get into a whole video on recruiting. I'm going to do a separate video for that on the ways to get jobs through the recruiters, as well as how to find the right jobs. But definitely spend the extra time in your resume, putting down the right information, tailor it so that it's 1 to 2 pages of good detail information. You want to make sure if you're using a recruiter to save him his time. No recruiter likes to send a resume and it's sloppy and then they have to edit it, because it takes hours out of their day. Make it nice and crisp so they can immediately start trying to find you the right proper jobs. That's very key. If you want to become a recruiter, there's several recruiting companies out there. East West, N World, Robert Walters are all. I'm sure all of them are good. I work for East West. And it's been one of the biggest ones. I think it's been the longest one in Japan, and I've done fairly well there, considering that a lot of people drop out, and people drop out too soon. It does take time to make money, but if you can stay there, if you give yourself at least a six month to 2 year window, you can make good profits. And you know what? I'm gonna make an entire separate video on details if you want to do that. It's worth it because it's more corporate side. It's more about you really expand your network and you learn a lot about sales and marketing in a foreign country. But beware, you will be putting in a lot more hours than an English teacher. English teacher's schedule is going to be different. It's going to be mornings and evenings, and then in the middle time you're going to have 4 hours free. And the reason is because kids and adults, and usually they want to meet in the morning and evening. And then for recruiting, you're going to have the typical 9 to 5 type job. So keep that in mind for scheduling. Other jobs out there are bartending. Obviously, you can become a bartender. Here's a little caveat, though. In Japan, there's no such thing as tips. So I was a bartender in California. I was making about $200, $300 a night. And then I came to Japan and I did the same thing, and I was making 60 to 80 bucks a night. It can be really fun if you're in your if you like that type of lifestyle and you want to meet a lot of cool people, and you meet a lot of girls, and if you want to meet guys and you want to make new friends, it's a cool party lifestyle. The reason I left it was because I was working 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's a lot of fun and by the time at that time I was 25. So I was really enjoying it, but I only did it for a short amount of time because, I couldn't live like that all the time. Acting and entertainment. Acting and entertainment is a very, very niche area, that now is becoming saturated. You know, my good friend Tomo was nice enough to stop by to talk about that. You can get into acting and entertainment. What you want to do is definitely get some professional looking headshots, make a nice resume of some of your background for voice, for acting if you have any, and start applying to as many different agencies as possible. Many as possible. That will get your network. It's kind of like a numbers game where not every single agent knows about the opportunities. So you want to be definitely throwing as many out there. And I've gotten a lot of jobs. I've been in a few TV shows, commercials, and movies. Had a few stage performances. A lot of fun. They range from some though only pay you as much as an English teacher. Now, you need to do those as stepping stones to get the bigger bucks. I've been paid a few times, $2,000 for an hour at one point. I'm not saying I'm like mega wealthy or anything like that, but that was a really cool experience. But it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't done the smaller ones first. A lot of people think they're going to join in and they think it's going to be just a one, oh, I'm going to get that job. No, you got to put in a few efforts and start putting stuff on your resume so you can stand out. That's a big thing. And just be nice to everybody. You meet a lot of people in the acting and entertainment world that have that, stereotypical snub nose of, I'm the stuff. And you don't want to be acting like that. Always be nice to everybody. Be nice to the cast. Be nice to the other actors. Be nice to the people putting it all on. And be professional. Show up on time. Show up sober. The guy I met, there's this one gig that I met that I got because the guy showed up 5 minutes late. And you could tell he was a little tipsy. And that's, it's still a job. You've got to show up professionally. The newest industry that's been booming in Japan is IT and digital. You see a lot more people now getting into the IT world and the digital world. I don't know anything about really that. I'm learning more about it right now, which is hence this kind of project. But you can see definitely, if you have that IT background, I would say that as a recruiter, a lot of my IT people looking for project managers, the number one thing is the program Ruby on Rails. If you can do Ruby on Rails, you can pretty much go anywhere. IT people are going to know more about this than I do, but definitely worth it looking into. Okay, some of the other jobs that are in Japan are, of course, like expats, people who are invited to Japan through their company. It's very good, but obviously, if you're kind of like me, if you were just kind of like, you want to go to Japan, usually they didn't really have a choice. The company basically said, we need help in our Japanese department, you need to go there. So that's like a different kind of category. Usually this is for people who might want to go to Japan. I would recommend first coming to Japan on a visitor visa, and then starting your job hunting from that. That gives you 3 months. 3 months is more than enough time, and the visa status has changed in the last couple of years. It used to be either a 1 year or a 3 year, and it was really tough. It was really, really tough to do. Nowadays, it's changed from 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, and in the past, like I had to do it, I had to leave Japan and then come back. Basically what I did was I had to leave and go to live in Taiwan, and then I came back and I got invited back. Nowadays, all you have to do is go to the immigration, get a stamp, and you're allowed to stay in the country. It's a lot easier for foreigners to get a job in order to live and have fun and play in Japan. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is people who kind of stand outside of that, the English teaching, recruiting, bartending kind of category. And I've done all that stuff, but also creating your own business, finding a niche that is something different. I have a friend who does his own e-commerce business online, where basically he was able to find certain types of jewelry that are all, like Hello Kitty jewelry that he did, and now he made his own website and now resells that to people back in the Western countries, makes a good profit. That's one idea. I've done my own rafting business at one point. I shouldn't say rafting business, but through a rafting company, my own idea. It was pretty fun, where we kind of did singles rafting. And in Tokyo, they love to do these singles events, and I basically just put like my rafting, expertise to use, and man, it was amazingly fun, great business that I got to do for a while. And I also used to do my own event company, making giant international events. If you check out my channel, you can see some of our promos we used to do. That was a great time. We did that for about 4 years. With some of my housemates. They've all kind of gone their own way, which is fine. But that's something to consider, is something that is a little bit different. Tokyo is a very expensive place. It really is. And you can go in there and you can live cheaply, But obviously, with a little bit more income, you get more options to really, go and be social and live it out. Going to an average, like, drinking night or bar night or any type of social event, it costs like good 50 to 60 bucks a night. And that's on top of your rent and your daily, all the food prices and everything. So I would recommend having some supplemental source of income, but something that's different. Something that, one of the things that I'm doing right now, might as well just talk about it. I'm doing my own kind of entrepreneurial social media campaign right now with Empower. Definitely worth recommend checking out. I'll put the description below. Basically, it's a way of all of us creating a network of blogging, and it teaches you a new blogging platform and social media. And people who use it are able to basically make multiple streams of income. It's a very good way, and we all stay connected. The people who kind of join my, our organization, we teach them how to do it, and it's really just about, if you want to, create new social media accounts, we teach you ways on how to make make it through products, make it through e-commerce. We teach you how to make multiple streams of income through the same ways. So definitely worth checking out. I'll put the description below. You definitely, you want to have multiple streams of income coming in. Everybody I know in Japan who's actually like really living it, and I mean going out and enjoying it to the maximum, being able to do all the trips, snowboarding trips in the winter, amusement park trips and soccer trips in the summer, have multiple streams of income. They're doing kind of the routinely recruiting or English teaching, and then they'll have a gig on the side. Like they'll be in a band, or they'll have something. I prefer to have something where I'm getting paid in American dollars, because right now the dollar is pretty high. And then I also have my other job as a Japanese income source. So for right now, I'm doing recruiting, rafting, and the Empower stuff. Definitely recommend to check it out. I hope it adds some value to you. It's definitely worth it. It's helped me now that I can like travel all over the world and make these type of videos and have plenty of time on my hands. So I hope this has added some value to you. I hope this answers some questions about like life in Japan and finding some work in Japan and what to look for. I hope this has added some tips. Please subscribe to our channel. Please like this video, share it if you can, and tune into our other videos. I'm gonna keep it going, and hopefully I hope this has added some value to your life. Thank you so much again for watching it all the way through, and hope to talk to you again, and we'll make some more videos that I hope will add some more value, add some more cool stuff and cool stories, adventures, and tips about Japan and life in Japan. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, okay? Peace.